Nigga, we gotta start the podcast.
Oh my god, I'm trying to.
Bro, you do this every single time.
Don't be trying to put that on me. I hate that. Oh my god, let's start the podcast.
What did you slip up in my cup, girl?
It's just that when I drink, sometimes I get a little crazy.
Here to wet your whistle, Marcus.
Can I get a refill?
Oh, it's my night. I know it's gonna be good.
Turn it up, turn it up.
Hear me, don't come and feel me.
So far right into the future. Oh, I don't. What's going on? Every week we having technical difficulties. Why you touch that thing?
I had to move it.
You know it doesn't like you, and yet you keep playing around with it.
Keep
and
yapping. Go ahead, keep yapping.
Oh, is that what I do? I yap.
You know all black women just yap. That's all y'all do is just yap.
I don't
yap,
feel
yap,
appreciated at all.
You're never gonna feel appreciated.
You're right, because I'm a black woman in this time, in this day and age where nobody respects me, but it's cool. It's cool because when we become president and kick all y'all out,
I ain't never gonna become president.
when we kick all y'all out,
listen, you still gotta get a white woman in there first. So
you said what now? We ain't letting no white women in. Listen, Hillary has one chance for all you white women.
What woman's gonna do is gonna be white. They ain't letting no black woman in
Ain't
there
no way,
first.
because if Michelle popped out and was like, you know what, I just might take a stab at it, the whole country's even the racist people would be like, yeah, you know what, I gotta give her a shot.
This will be the day I see a black queer woman run for president. Man,
the whole country would be fixed. That's what you would see.
Man.
Black queer woman, oh, we are not playing none of that shit. None of that shit. It's gonna be amazing.
That shit be wild, bro.
Listen, fly right into the future. So you know what I did today, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like really excited about life and everything for like the 5 minutes of my life where I don't think about all the like dumb shit that's happening. And so I start like getting into like my little like, you know, bag, right? My little dancing bag. And I was like, fiesta, fiesta. And then I got to the second fiesta and I was like, oh, damn, I deadass can't sing that song no more. And I'm really hella sad. Like, I'm really sad about that.
That's cool. You ain't gotta, you have no obligation to boycott anybody.
Yeah, no.
Only
Robert Kelly has to get all the way the fuck out of here.
All right, bro.
Like, there's like out of here, and then there's like the fuck out of here, and then there's like all the way the fuck out of here, and that's the category that he's in.
Man, hey, bro.
Listen. There's just some people that you just can't make it back from that. You just cannot come. Like, there's just a few things in the world you just can't come back from.
We just boycott the songs that are just a little bit like shaky now that we.
Huh?
Just boycott the songs that are like shaky now that we know who he is.
Like, but my man had like 1,000 hits. That's really, like, how many times am I gonna watch like Space Jam now and I can't?
Oh, ever the same. I'm gonna watch that movie the same way. Like, that's nothing's changing.
No. Like, the movie doesn't change, but like when I get into that, I believe, and I'm gonna be right like, in that bag. Damn, no,
I'll be right in that bag.
I don't think I could fly as high as I used to.
I'm flying to the fucking moon.
No, because he was flying on the backseat little kids, and I don't know how I feel about it. I just. You know, it's going to be some time. He's going to have to die before I'm like, maybe I'll play. Maybe. It might be a gospel song or something, so God knows my heart.
It was, like, for me, like, R. Kelly was kind of like I didn't know how big he was. We have to remember, like, I didn't grow up.
Oh, yeah, because you're not, like, American black.
So, like, it didn't.
Caribbean black is a different.
So, like, to me, it was kind of like, all right, like, I found out about him, like, Chocolate Factory. Because my brother had the album.
You.
So I didn't realize he was wilding through the 90s, killing the game and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, he was killing a lot of things. Killing kids' futures, like, killing kids' childhoods, killing a lot of stuff.
So I didn't know how big of an artist he was. There's a lot of people I didn't realize how big of an artist they were. Like, I didn't realize, like, for example... Mary, how big she was. Like, I thought she became big in
Sweet Thing,
the 2000s.
You're bugging. Every time that black people lose, they got their minds. Your auntie started to put their drink down. like
Janet Jackson, I always just thought, like, who is this person they got up here showing their titty and stuff? Like, why does everybody care so much?
She was the first sex symbol, all right? Probably not, but that's what we're gonna claim. So listen, it's all right. We're going to make a nice little playlist for you, and it's just going to be great. You shake your head, but I'm doing it anyway, and I'm going to blast it in the room so you know it's real, regardless.
I hear you, sis.
Anyways, so welcome to the Black Millennial Podcast. I'm Nia.
And
Bia.
Mikey rocks.
3 X's.
Cause I'm nasty.
I feel like I help you out with your like name more than you help me out with my name.
Cause you know why.
Cause black women do
Yeah,
everything.
go ahead, get your shit off.
I am. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't even know why you like tried to pause. Like I was gonna fill it in. Like, I'm gonna let you get your shit off, and then we're gonna keep the
Whatever.
podcast moving.
You know what? One day
Like
you'll just
I know the intro is for
automatically
you.
do it.
The intro is for you.
What are you talking about?
Like the beginning of the podcast is where you get like all your little jokes off, all the energy and everything. You do your black men bashing, all that kind of shit.
Is that what you
That's
think
the
I
beginning
do?
Is. That's what the beginning is.
I need
like,
you
if
to
look back on
understand that
every
I do like a men bashing. I am not prejudiced. All y'all can get all the bashing. Just so y'all know, like, you know, this prejudice is for all y'all. All three of
Glad to know
y'all.
that you're inclusive.
You said what happened?
Glad to know you're
I
inclusive.
would never want to leave someone out. Somebody last time told me that I talked about white men a lot. I was like, oh, honey, this is not the podcast for you then. Because I have so much more in the bag. What? Don't have me start pulling out real terms about things. Somebody said privilege. Privilege?
Privilege.
Listen, it's nonstop all day. All right, you ready?
I'm
All right, so cool. So we were already talking about R. Kelly, so you already know what this for the cultures where it was about to start, right? You already know. So my homie, well, he ain't my homie.
That's your homie.
The black man, right, Robert Kelly, was indicted on like 17,000 charges,
Got
right?
him on everything.
Bail was set at $1 million. Every ignorant black auntie was like, he ain't do it. And they also ignorant husbands were in, you know, cahoots with them, trying to raise money for him to like get out. $1
real?
million bail. Yeah, this shit was wild. I don't know why, because you ain't giving up your own daughters for that, so I don't want to hear
I think why are you raising money for a rich person?
Which, I don't know how rich he is because, you know, his Atlanta home was like foreclosed on or whatever.
Oh,
Because
really?
he stopped paying rent or some wild shit on it. Yeah. I think. Don't quote me. Damn. I wish we were like the Joe Budden podcast and we had like a save on. Who wants to like volunteer and be our save on? Fact check for us because I just be saying wild shit and I just believe that it's true. So, but
Sound like you. Sound like you in real life.
you're right. I'm not gonna. Yeah. But anywho, yeah. So he was in jail. I believe he just got out yesterday. So he made bail, his $1 million. I don't know if he posted the whole $1 million, or I know some people just have to post 10% of their bail in order to get out, which makes no sense because then why would you put the bail at that?
Yeah.
But the justice system is fucked, and we all know that. So it really
Touche.
doesn't matter how that goes. But so yeah, so he's still proclaiming his innocence regardless of the
Just hold
new
on
tape.
to the end.
Yeah,
Stay
there's
strong to the end.
yeah, there's a new tape, and there was like somebody subscribed pieces of it, and it's like horrible. Some of the quotes were like, "Show me this 14-year-old P word." I don't even want to say 14 and that word
In
in
the
the
same
same
sentence.
sentence. Like another one was like, "Show me that like 14-year-old, or give me that 14-year-old
Oh, like he's really
booty hole." Like, yeah, it was like, so I mean, and it like progressively got worse, and I was like, I don't see how the first one
that
isn't the
motherfucking
worst.
sicko
Like,
mode bag. Like,
like, I mean, for real. So like, but he posted bail and he's out and he's still proclaiming his innocence, and like, I don't know. I mean, I guess lawyers have to be like, you know, they have to take your word for it regardless if they're hiring you or if you're going to take on that client. But you know damn well you wouldn't leave your child in the room with Robert Kelly after you've heard or seen some video shit like
his
that.
nasty ass. You gotta start calling him Robert. Like he just
No,
seems
because
like,
my daddy's name is Robert. So
Nah,
don't do that.
Robert is a nasty ass name.
No, it's not.
Robert
It's
is
that
a nasty
it's
ass
dead not.
name.
No, no.
Robert is a
we gotta
nasty
call that
name.
nigga like Bob or something.
Nah,
Like, nah,
what they call your pops, Bob.
no,
Bob,
we
Robert
do
is a
not call
nasty
my
name.
dad Bob. They
Your
do
mother
not,
always call him
Yeah,
Bob.
but my mother doesn't like my father. So that's why she calls
Robert
him
is a
that.
nasty ass
No,
name,
it's
bro.
not.
Now that I
No,
think
no,
about
no.
it.
When you abbreviate Robert, that's the nasty thing. When they
Rob?
or R.
Aura, the aura. Robert is a nasty ass
No,
name,
it is not.
bro.
Don't put that on my
That's a nasty name.
Listen, don't do it. My sugar's high. Don't do it. I don't like
That
it.
motherfucker is
Don't put
sick.
that. Why are you stripping? Why are you taking your clothes off?
I'm hot.
You
What the
thinking
fuck?
about Robert got you all hot and
Got
bothered?
me all hot and bothered, man.
That's a little nasty. But he's out and everything like that, and I don't like it. And I wish they could have kept that little man in jail They letting everybody out. Jesse is out too. Jesse, he's out. His story is still up and down at this point. You know, some people are saying he paid those people. Some people are saying he's not. They said they found the magazine with the, 4-year-old cut up letters.
Yeah.
You know, in the people's apartment. Some people saying it's fake. I don't know what to believe anymore, or where that's at.
If that shit is fake, I just want everybody to just. I swear, bro. One of these days, I'm gonna get my due diligence where motherfuckers say, yo, Mike, you was right.
You'll be dead by then, though.
I'll take it.
You'll be sitting there waiting.
I'll be under that casket just waiting. I'm just I'm gonna have
Get a
like
little warm, tingly feeling inside,
I'll know. You'll literally see my skeleton just turn into a smile.
Start shaking and stuff.
Bro,
that's crazy.
Because I be telling people, bro, like, there's some sick people. There's some sick people out there, man.
It is. I don't. But
I don't know if he did it. I'm just saying they're
allegedly, because we're still not trying to be sued. We have 2 quarters. Like
we made it from 2 nickels to 2 quarters.
To 2 quarters. We out here. We actually made it to the 10 subscribers since last week. It feels like that was like 1,000 years ago. I don't know why, but it does feel like that's crazy. But I was listening to other podcasts.
It's an ableist language.
Oh, you are so right. And I am so sorry to that whole community. I will try my best not to say that again. But I was listening to another podcast, right? And both of the podcasters, the hosts, they're both queer. And so it's very tough for them, they were saying, simply because they don't know if it's like, they don't know what to believe, right? Because the Chicago PD, let's be honest, they knew about R. Kelly for the past 15 years, ain't never got that nigga up out of here. So when they made that point, I was like, you're right. We might be taking, like, what they're saying a little too wholeheartedly, I guess, if you know what I mean, because all of these different reports are saying one thing, they're saying another thing. Sometimes they backtrack on what they say, so I was like, all right, I can understand why you're not fully jumping right in, because one of them definitely said, like, this can't be not true because of the devastation it's going to do to, the community, the devastation it's going to do to people.
I hope that shit not true, just so it can rock everybody's fucking world and everybody could just have to just sit in their dumb shit. Like, it's just not.
What do you mean?
That bubble needs to be bursted. Like I said last year, there are some sick people. And you have to understand, like, everybody that holds a marginalized identity, minority identity, is not an angel, or they're not a damsel in distress.
Oh, you mean like you hope Jesse's not telling the truth?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to say I hope he's telling the truth, because I hope he didn't get attacked, but I also hope that he's not. It's really weird. Like, I don't want what he's saying to be a lie, because I know what this means for that community, and I know what it means for black people, and I know what Trump was already having a field day. Like, look at y'all talking about MAGA people and MAGA country and da-da-da-da-da, and if it's not true, you've literally, like, taken the gun, right, filled it with ammo, and then gave it to Trump and was like, please, fire. I'm
confused now, because you're saying that what it would do for the community, for it to be true.
For the queer community, for the black community, it's not going to be good.
My thing is this. When something happens, we say, oh my goodness, I'm tired of this keep happening. I'm tired of seeing this stuff happen. Then we have an opportunity right now for it to not be true, and we're just like, we don't want it. It's like, no, it needs. So it's like, which one?
Because we don't want him to be lying because of the damage it'll do to us. For him to be lying, that's the problem, right? We don't want him to have gotten beat up. Like, that's not what it is, right? But the alternative is that you're lying. And the alternative,
web we weave.
yeah, and like, somewhat the alternative is a little bit worse, because think of all those people out there that like still don't believe, oh, that man really just walked past his window with his whole hand in his whole crotch. I'm so sorry. That really just fucked me up, because I'm like, what are you reaching for down there? And I really hope you're going to wash your hands afterwards.
Doubt it.
I don't know if he was scratching something, because then that means if you're scratching, does it itch? Like, what is? Anyways, yeah, we don't want him to be lying, because it's gonna do more damage than if he wasn't lying. So I don't want you to be beat. I don't want you to be beat up or have gotten beat up, but I also don't want you to be lying. So
it's wild. It's the last thing I'll talk about this situation before we move on.
You're right, because we done gave this way too much attention.
I was talking to someone else about this, and I was like, yo, like, this happened. Did you know this happened? They didn't really know, and they were just like, this person's queer themselves, and they were just like, how, yeah, like, it's just getting on my nerves how everybody's focusing on the fact that he's lying, as if there aren't more people, as if the rate of people who are telling the truth isn't more, and that they're focusing on the wrong thing.
That's true.
And I'm like,
that's real.
Yes, that's true, and you have to focus on what's present, and what's present is this person that is lying. And we know historically, it's not right that people get imprisoned for someone lying. And I just feel like,
But those boys aren't in jail.
No, they're not. I'm not talking about them. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, I fully agree that there are agendas in the world, and the news that we get is,
God forbid you say fake news. You better not say that shit over here.
It news is formatted in a way so that you get a certain narrative. However, though, I don't think it's unfair to for the people like myself, as someone who's like cisgender, heterosexual, all those things. I'm afraid of being lied on. I look at Emmett Till and I'm like, Lord have mercy. And then we know a lot of black men or people in general who are, falsely accused of things, and there is no, okay, well, they find out before they get indicted or whatever. No, they rot in the prison.
And that's real. Like, he shouldn't
just
be lying. Yeah.
And people shouldn't be lying. And I think you can do both. Like, I'm not saying one needs to be silenced. I just said I think you could do both. I don't like this. No, why are you talking about this? It doesn't matter. Sweep it on the rug. No, this is real. People need to not be doing this because, one, you are, certain people feel threatened, and secondly, when you have people lying, it takes away from the movement, and it needs to be stopped. The lying.
It does need to be stopped, and he's a grown ass man with too much money and too much to live for it to be. Yeah,
if he's lying.
If he's lying, wow, I was about to say I agree with you. Damn, and that's really being recorded. I might just cut that out, but I don't know. Wholeheartedly, if he's lying, you gotta rot in hell for some shit like that, because the amount of people who are actually being assaulted, like real life being killed and all that jazz. Come on, bro. Whatever you were doing it for the fame, for the notoriety, for the more money, for the show, whatever it was, you can't do that. All right.
All right, so moving on, still on the queer topic. So I've never heard of this person. I
didn't know we had a queer topic. I'm
sorry.
I said
moving on,
like to a different. Okay, yeah. I was like, huh? What?
So, tennis legend. I didn't know this person. I've never heard of this person before, but I'm not in tennis. I just know Serena and Venus. Yeah.
I mean, aren't those
and
the
Arthur Ashe.
only ones
Arthur
that like
Ashe.
matter?
Hey,
There's.
bro.
Oh shit! Excuse me. There's somebody who like starts with a F for something.
Roger Federer.
Yes, that's the only other one, because
And
he gives
Nadal.
Serena's his like props. He don't play that shit from what I can remember.
I only know those people. So yeah, Martina Navratilova. I apologize for butchering that to anyone who may have that last name.
She's listening right now. She's pissed.
I'm sure she will hear about this. So in December, this person tweeted. Mind you, this person themselves is queer. They are arguably one of the greatest tennis players of all time.
That doesn't sound like Serena Williams.
That's why I was confused. I was like, who is this person? I was like,
He said of all time, like my time, or like all time, like
a very short time period.
it had to be like legit that like 5 years before they were born or something, and that's it. Whoa, excuse you.
But yeah. So a little more background on this person: 9-time Wimbledon champion.
That's it.
She came out as bisexual in the 80s.
Okay.
This is, way back.
Oh, 80s makes sense now. Okay. Yeah.
So she said, and I quote, "You can't just proclaim yourself female and be able to compete against women. There must be some standards, and having a penis and competing against women would not fit that standard." So that was in December. Recently, she wrote like an op-ed, and basically quoting, like, one of the quotes was, it would be, quote, insane and cheating to allow a woman to switch genders in order to win in everything in sight. Quote, everything. So basically she is against transgender people competing against the gender that they
Is she
transition
white?
to. Yeah, she is white.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Tell me what more you say about that.
Huh?
Well, my next question was tell me how you feel, but obviously you already started, so go ahead.
Well, I mean, like, sometimes with certain privileges that you hold, like, it's harder to understand someone else's, like, plight a little bit more. So, like, as somebody who has double minority, right, for myself, I'm speaking, I can understand, like, someone who's transgender or someone who, you know, is of a different race or of a different sexuality or of a different gender or whatever the case may be. I understand those plights a little bit more because I've experienced them twice, right? Twofold. Versus someone who, she is a woman, right? But she's also a white woman. So that does put her up on, you know, her privilege and what she may have experienced will be a little bit different.
Which is interesting, though.
Why?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, we've always we constantly have this conversation about whether or not, you know, transgender people should be allowed to play in the sports that they identify with. And I think as long as they're in the same weight class, you know, I think that they're same, like, height, weight class, or whatever the case may be for your sport, I feel like it should be, you know, fair. Because if I weigh the same, you weigh the same, then there really shouldn't be, like, much of a difference, depending on the sport, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I would say depending on the sport. So if we're wrestling and I'm 125, you're 125, we have the same. You might not feel like it, but we do.
Here's why I disagree. There are people who I know who are 140-pound wrestlers. There's 140-pound boxers who are strong as shit. You might weigh more than them. And they will put, as I'm sure you would assume and agree, they put hands and feet on you. So weight and height.
You got me fucked up out here.
Nigga.
We out here all day, every day.
If anything, one thing I've noticed is I was surprised that I got, you know, when I was younger, women weigh more than men. Hips.
We got to push those babies
Hips
out.
and thighs, right? Ooh, not now. But yeah, hips and thighs, you know, all that kind of stuff. So women actually weigh more than men, but don't have the physical ability. So, you know, for example, I could see we all may have a female friend who is thick-thighed, right? And we have a female friend who's thick-thighed, and you might take one of your skinny male friends, and that man could jump to the moon, right? So he could, just because they weigh the same, might be the same height. So yeah, with the fact that, you know, somebody could look literally me and you, about, I mean, you're only a few inches shorter than me, but to a certain extent, your thighs might be a little bit thicker than mine, or whatever the case may be. Shoulders might be
Thick
broader.
lives, baby. They save lives, baby.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm still able to run faster than you or jump higher than you.
Right. So what I'm saying is, like, ability-wise, though, the same, right? So we're in the same weight class. We're in the same ability class as well. So, like, me and you, whether I weigh more than you or, you know, we're the same, ability-wise, we're not there. And I think that's where a lot of people would say that they wouldn't want to do that, because that is a little bit more work. But if we're saying that we want to be more inclusive, you know, then that's what it would boil down to, right? So if I say I'm a track runner and I do, you know, I don't know, the 100 meters in 3 seconds or whatever, and you also do it in 3 seconds, and I identify as a male, you know, transgender, you know, male, why can't we race against each other if we have damn near the same time, right? We're training to beat one another, theoretically.
Male has more upside.
How if we literally do
No,
the
men
same?
have higher capabilities of physical strength.
Okay,
That's like the scientific.
but I mean, like, if they want to do that, then we should let them do that.
Do what?
If they want to go against that, knowing that, then we should let them do that.
But people don't want to. That's the
Huh?
thing.
Okay, but, like, that's the problem.
Yeah, so I'm saying why it shouldn't.
No, that's why we should. We should let them, like, if they're going to win or if they're going to lose, we should let them do that. Because if your problem
But who are you
is-
saying they? You talking about the transgender person or the cisgender person?
we should let the transgender person do
But
it.
they're the person with the advantage.
How are they the person with the advantage?
You just said that.
You're only speaking of it from one side. You're not thinking of it in a sense of,
Oh, you're talking about the other way around.
yeah, there's multiple ways, you know,
Okay, okay.
that, you know.
Well, I'm focused on the other one.
I understand you
Yeah.
are, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the only thing. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you would like win, or like when I say you, I mean like cisgender males, right? Would win. There's a lot of people that I think there was this one tennis player. He was a man that was asked whether or not he would play Serena. And he was like, "There's no goddamn way I would play her. I would lose." Like, and that's just what it boils down to, right? And I feel like we should let them do that. If they win, great. If they lose, great. Like like that's the point of the game, to compete. And if they want to compete, like we shouldn't be worried about whether or not they're going to lose or if they're going to win. We should just let them win or lose.
I think the thing about competitive sports is that a big part of competitive sports is make sure it's like fair play. I can't remember the exact term for me, but when I studied sports, sociology of sport, but you are supposed to be playing within your competition level. That is what makes competition. So that is hence why we have different leagues, why we have varsity and JV, things like that.
Right.
So
which are all based off of skill level.
Yes. So that's however, it's not only skill level. A freshman and sophomore is typically different from a junior and a senior.
Right.
Hence JV and varsity. So in age, that's why we have different genders, because the ability is different. I'll take basketball for a second. No matter what, there are just some things that a woman basketball player is just not going to be able to do.
Right, but are those things required in order to play basketball? Like as
no,
a
but
woman,
it's
you
required
don't see
to be able to play a certain level of basketball.
But you haven't even let them try it. So how do you know that
We have.
You haven't before, but you have it now, and things have changed a lot now. And I think that you should try. We should at least give it a try. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. And at least we can say, you know what, it doesn't work across the board. But we haven't done it across the board, so I don't think that's fair.
I think anybody can see it from like a recreational level. You could just you could get a pickup game. Like, you could play with women, but at the end of the day, there's just discrepancies. They're just not going to be able to jump as high. They're not going to be able to.
And that's the part. Let them compete to do that. Like, why?
But then it lowers the level of competition.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
How?
If someone can't jump it, so like take, you know who Brittany Griner is? One of the best centers in women's basketball.
Yes.
And then you take, I'm trying to think of a center you would know. You know who DeMarcus Cousins is? One of the best.
Cousins.
One of the best. That's not even. The competition level wouldn't even be fair.
Okay.
And then therefore, you lower the level of competition.
Not necessarily.
How if the person is not good enough? That lowers the level of competition.
Well, like for whatever team that decides to hire that person, maybe, but like that doesn't mean that every single team is gonna, have a transgender person on it. Maybe they don't even want to. Like, there might be like a handful of them, who knows, that actually want to do this. Like, it's not gonna be like what is it I'm trying to say, like a overhaul of your beloved sport, and then therefore nobody's gonna be able to like dunk anymore. Like, it's fine, bro. It's gonna be okay.
No, it's fine for you because you're not invested in it.
That's
you know
not
what
true.
it's like.
There are a lot of things that I'm invested in, but at the same time, like I said, I have the minorities, so I can understand what it's like for somebody to tell me I'm not good enough, knowing damn well I am good enough, or like being upset that you never even allowed me to show you that I am good enough.
It's not like men and women have never played sports with each other. It happens, and we see that it's not equitable.
Listen.
But
you know what the problem is? Because I ended up seeing a story where it was this transgender male. He wanted to be on the wrestling team, right? They told him he could not play on the wrestling team because he was a transgender male. Went to the girls' team, beat all the girls, got to the championship, and then they were like, you should take your championship belt away because you beat all the girls, and you classify yourself as a man. You're taking testosterone now, and whatever the case may be. But when they wanted to play on the males team, right? Because if you're talking about testosterone, all this other stuff, and what it does to you, and ability wise, we have no idea what that could have looked like. But you didn't let that person do it. But you're also not letting them, do it this way. So now they're caught in a rock and a hard place. And how does that sound? Like, separating them. What does that remind you of that, was just, 40-something years
Still
ago?
going on right now.
Oh, well, there you go. Like, so you see how that, like, it doesn't...
I hear you. It's a very, 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 like...
That's a slippery slope right there.
It is. And like I said, for me, it's... In the world that I always say this. Like, yes, we do live in a snowflake era and everything like that. However, I would rather it be this way than what we had before, where we just cut people out and we left people out of everything, right? I would rather a world where, you know what, fuck it, let them all play together.
Yeah.
Because you know what, at least everybody, you know what, we all unhappy together.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, until we can find a solution. My solution would be let there be a transgender league. That would be my solution.
Separate but equal type of thing.
And it has to actually, not the WNBA. I'm talking about dead ass equal. Like, I'm a separatist though. I say that there should be black people stuff. So this is not me saying, yo, fuck queer people. This is like, no, I literally believe that.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. So unfortunately, we just don't live in that.
We don't live in that, and that's a perfect world.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to something you said before. You talked about how, like, is she white, right? Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because you talked about, like, double minority. She is a double minority. How? She's queer. Mm-hmm. So she has, if anyone had the right to say anything, it would be her.
Okay.
And it was just interesting that, like, you just immediately, like, went to that. And
I say that because I'm not trying to downplay, that community at all. I think, I don't know when this person may have come out, if she was always out or whatever the case may have been, but I think it's like slightly different, the identities that you can quote unquote hide, right, or aren't visibly seen.
Yeah, the ones that aren't salient.
Yeah, there's a slight, like, difference in it, and I'm not saying one is higher than the other, so I really want to clarify that. But I'm saying that the plights and the struggles that you go through are a little bit different.
Well, no, there's nothing to hide. There's no, like, I mean, me personally, I don't think it's wrong to say that having a racial identity is worse than is the discrimination you face from that.
I don't personally know.
I would say that.
I mean, it's really hard because they can argue, different otherwise, and people,
it's different.
They have, but some people would actually argue, like, your race doesn't trump my sexuality. Mm-hmm. I don't know where I sit on that line because I have not experienced that. That's not a plight that I've experienced. My personal experience, I know my race and my gender are two things that are very noticeable straight off the bat, and neither one of them I can hide, no matter what I can do, right? I don't know what this person's experience was like, being out. If, like, when they came out, were they out already? Whatever, like, how long did it take you to, become out? What did your family life look like? Did they accept that? Were they not accepting of that? Because those are, factors that definitely, like, matter. But to be, like, not outwardly queer, and I'm just assuming here, I'm definitely assuming at this point, definitely plays, like, a role in that, which is why I was saying, for me as a person, I can't hide those things. It's a little different for your sexuality because you choose to share your sexuality with other people. I don't know your sexuality until you tell me. Once you tell me, then definitely there's a lot of things that go into play there. But me looking at you, you will always be a black, identifying male. I will always be a black identifying woman. That's it. There's no.
Nah, I feel you. It's a but what I did want to point out though was, well, one, I do want to say, you articulated that very well. So.
Thank you. I was really, you really got to be careful because, like, I don't want to offend anybody at all. Anybody.
Well, you will. At the end of the day, that's just no matter what.
Yeah, but, like, I really want to make it like known that, like, overall, I want to be an ally, and if I'm wrong in some of these things, like, tell me I'm wrong, and then educate, or know what? Don't educate me. I'll go educate myself because I hate that. But
it's just one thing that I do feel though is, we talk about this a lot. So you talked about how, okay, as a double minority black woman, you can see certain things. I got this post from my cousin, who's a black woman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, what is it when it's that?
I don't understand your question.
So like, it was a black. She was saying, I'm like, oh, like, yo, at least someone finally saying something that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we're not all gonna share the like same.
So then that's my thing. It's like when it's convenient, it's like, yeah, this person is a double minority, but then if that doesn't always apply, so then why even use it as an?
What do you mean? Because those things still exist. Like, you know, like they don't disappear just because two people disagree on, you know, where they stand on it. Like you said, I'm probably gonna offend people. Whatever I just said probably offended 1,000 people. And then there's gonna be the other 1,000 people that agree with what I said. There's gonna be another 1,000 people that are somewhat in the middle. There's gonna be another 1,000 that like, you know, so everybody's gonna feel, you know, completely different. About that. Those are just my personal experiences, but I also can't speak on the queer community because I am not queer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, okay, I know with my visible identities, that's what it's like. And what I have noticed from that community is once they choose to be outward about their sexuality is when I have noticed things, right? People who have not chosen to make that visible, their plight is a little different, you know. But
we do need to bring someone on here who is queer, who's willing to have the conversation, because it isn't fair for us to just. I mean, I don't want this podcast to just be like, okay, from the cisgender hetero perspective. Like, we don't hold those identities, but we do need to find a way to make sure that voice is heard, so that there can be discourse. Yeah, so that there can be some discourse.
Yeah.
Not just us validating each other, you know, even though we argue with each other, but it still should be that voice.
I was about to say, when did we start validating each other? But yeah, now I feel you.
Yeah. But,
all right.
Yeah, so I guess, but just wrapping that up, like it's I don't know. Like I said,
it's a tricky one. It will always be tricky until, and we're not like even, I don't know, we're not in the sports world, so none of this shit we just said even matters.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, get your next shit off.
Ooh, all right. So have you heard about what's going on with YouTube?
Yo, chill. Listen, that's like that's my Tumblr.
No, listen.
I'm just telling you, I'm not boycotting YouTube. I just want you to know.
I'm not saying you have to boycott YouTube because I don't think it's something. I don't know if YouTube has noticed or not. I'm just saying this is the shit that's happening in YouTube, and then how you feel about that is how you feel about that, right? So, I've been burping a lot lately. My bad, y'all. I am. Yeah, no, but no. So like they have So there's this guy. I totally forgot his name. So sorry, but he basically found like this like slight pedophile like ring type thing going on within YouTube. So he went and he was looking at a video and it seemed harmless, right? And just like every casual, you know, watcher, you know, viewer, he scrolls down to the comments and then he realizes there's a bunch of like men and some women in the comments like, oh, go to 402, you'll see a camel toe. Or they'll be like, oh, go to 125, like her bathing suit slips a little. Or they'll be like, oh, looking good, baby, with the, you know, what's the eggplant emoji?
A bunch of sick shit.
But bunch of sick shit, right? And he's like, whoa, YouTube, are we not screening this stuff? And a lot of people had an issue with it simply because there was a lot of like racist videos. I know that, you know, was on YouTube at one point, and YouTube like was basically ignoring everyone, saying like kind of like freedom of speech, but then it's kind of like in violation of the rules. So then, you know, the guy was kind of like pointing those things out like, hey, this is also against your rules, and again, we see you not doing anything. So that's one thing that's been happening with YouTube. And then a few days later, this lady was watching a YouTube video with her kid, saw the video, and at first it was just like, you know, cartoons, you know, whatever, or someone playing with something. You know how it's weird. Kids like watching other kids play with things. They like watching other kids play with stuff, which is like the strangest thing to me.
Yeah.
But so midway through the video, the cartoons stop. A man in glasses comes out from like a green screen or wherever, right? He sits down in front of them and he starts to give the kids directions on how to slit their wrists. Yes.
Ooh.
And how to commit suicide. And then apparently, like, there's a lot of different, like, videos like that, apparently. So there's, like, this Facebook group of parents who are sharing the videos that they've seen. And they've seen, like, another video basically, like, eliciting, like, sex trafficking, like, what to do around, like, men. You know, like what girls could do, what boys could do, you know, how they should undress themselves or how they should hurt themselves. And like, this is like a phenomenon like happening in in YouTube. And so everybody's like, yo, YouTube, like, bro. So then, and also the parent like flagged it and like sent it to them and was like, are y'all screening this stuff? Like, what's the process? And it took them like a week to get it down. But how many other kids just are watching these things? And like, what would have happened if she wasn't like watching the video like as well with her kid? And like all this shit is just like, so yeah, what do you think about all that?
Number one, as I always say, there's some sick people in the world. Some sick people in the world, all right? And if you're sick, you probably don't know you're sick, so you can't get help. But I hope someone around you recognizes that you're sick.
and puts you in the same cell with R. Kelly. All y'all can go on over
All
there.
y'all sick people need to go to like one island and just be sick by yourselves, all right? But, you know what's my thing? And, you know, this is where you always kill me for saying stuff like this. What the fuck can YouTube do?
Delete it? I don't know.
No, I'm saying, like, no, obviously, yeah. But I'm saying, like, how can YouTube know about all of these things happening?
I mean, there's got to be some type of, like, review process or something.
For YouTube, for videos being posted?
For little kids, yeah.
You think that? Okay.
For, like...
But how would you know what's going to be posted?
Okay, so, like, you have to categorize it, right? When you upload a video, you categorize it. So if it's for kids, right, you can say it's for kids. And so then there should be like a, I don't know, 24 or 80, I say 84, 24 or 48 hour, you know, review process or something.
Before you could post it for a children video?
Yeah, somebody's in a dark room just watching a bunch of videos. Like,
okay, now I thought you were talking about videos in general. But,
no, because that's a lot of content, right? Or there should be some type of like, maybe they can develop some type of program that, you know, looks for these keywords, you know what I mean? Looks for these key actions, what's happening. You know, I'm sure there's thousands of algorithms, thousands of programmers that could do that because there's a lot of, you know, websites that do that. Your content has curse words. It's explicit, so you can't use it. So if you can hear me saying shit, like, and flag that, or if you can like flag me saying like racist things or homophobic things, I'm pretty sure you can like flag, you know, someone saying, and this is how you properly cut yourself. That's I don't know, it's a little scary, bro.
I was about to make a really bad joke.
Not even a little scary. That's hella scary. Like, it was to the point where I was like, okay, so that means even like YouTube Kids is not safe. That means I'm gonna start checking like my little sister's, even Netflix Kids, what videos y'all got going on in there. Like, you know, now I'm worried because like these kids really like are watching it. It's not something that we grew up on. Like, we had the little yellow, or not yellow, the orange cassette tapes that you had to pop into the.
We never had that.
Whoa! So you just didn't watch Rugrats in Nickelodeon
and
tapes
cable.
were? No, but the VHS tapes were yellow or orange.
They were?
The Nickelodeon ones?
I was watching real movies when I was a kid.
You were just never a child, right? Okay,
I
but
was watching what, The Mask,
The Mask was shit. He was my that was it. He walked in, he was like PARTY because I wanna, and I was like, yeah, like at like 5. But yeah, I don't know, that shit is crazy. I really wanted to hear like your opinion on the YouTube thing.
So I feel like I don't feel like I think I think that it frustrates me because it's one of those things where it's like you can never have a good thing. Because someone's got to mess it up.
Right.
Like, you know me, I'm a huge YouTuber. Like, I remember that time you was like, yo, how you find a video that quick? I'm like, nigga, the dashboard is there for me. As soon as I open up, all my stuff is there.
It says,
continue
hello,
watching.
welcome back, Michael.
Welcome back. We were waiting for you. You know what I mean? So, this frustrates me because now I know it's going to, in some way, shape, or form, ruin this platform. However, what I do want to ask you is this. You talked about how, you know me, I always got to be the one to do comparisons. You know, I remember when Tumblr was, they was like flagging shit, you know, that kind of stuff.
And they were getting rid of all the like
The
porn and like
everything.
nude pictures, and I was like, "Yo, bro, half of Tumblr
Right.
is porn and nude pictures. What are you doing?"
Right.
Shout out to the Tumblr community that still keeps like
Fuck all
finding a
y'all.
way to
Fuck
like
everybody
put
with the
porn
Tumblr.
on there. Anyway, like the other day, I was like scrolling because I can scroll in public now.
Yeah.
And I was scrolling in public, and all of a sudden, a whole ass vagina was back, and I was like, "Oh shit, we're doing this again?" I was like, "Well, let me like lower the brightness so people don't think I'm like watching porn in public." But like, hey,
Wait, why couldn't you scroll in public before?
because vaginas would be
Oh.
randomly like there would be like whole ass videos of people fucking, and I'm in like line at train grill trying to, like, and then all you see is people going at it, and I'm like, I swear I'm not like finding it, like it's on my dad, like, and so you had to put your like, you know, light all the way, like. It was complicated, you know. For a while there, I was able to do it in public. I think we're back to not being able to open
so
Tumblr
get back
in
to normal.
public.
Yeah, so with that, but what I want to ask you is this. You know, I'm a big fan of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I mean?
Yo, that's a wild ass saying.
I'm huge on that. So I think you gotta do both. You can't just have we're gonna have porn on Tumblr and suggestive content there, but then be like, nah, but we don't want to have like you want to make like a stricter
Like viewing things.
screening on YouTube.
Yeah.
Not to say that it should happen on YouTube. I want everybody to understand, I don't think what's happening on YouTube should be happening. But what I'm
I
saying
was about to
is,
say, what, Michael? You agree with the pedophiles on
relax.
YouTube? Did y'all catch that clip?
Let's relax. Everybody relax. Relax. But nah, I think that it's either the only way for this to work is if we either completely get rid of all this stuff or it's gonna just stay the way it is. Kind of like how I always talk about with the quote unquote snowflake era that we're in right now. We either super duper gun ho social justice and we getting everybody out of here, or we just gonna just let shit rock and we gonna be problematic, which I would rather not. So I'd rather we just be where we're at right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's tough because I don't know how those companies like really deal with getting like all that stuff together, I guess you could say. I just know it has to, at least for the kids, like if we're going to have like stuff for kids and you label it for kids, or maybe that's what they have to do in order for it to, you know, be searched for kids, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe there's some parental, you know, guidance things that we have to, you know, start making. I mean, and it's on the parents as well to be paying attention to what their, you know, kids are searching. Like I know with my sister, I tell her randomly, give me your phone. I'm searching everything, and them cookies better be there. That history better be there. Like for real. And I think that like,
I was clearly in history like a motherfucker as a kid.
yeah, you got your ass whooped
Nasty
messing around
ass.
with me, like, cause I want to know, and it's not because I want to know so I can punish you. I want to know so I can make sure that you're safe.
Oh, so you want
I
your
want-
kids to watch no-nos? You gonna let them watch no-nos?
I'm not letting my kids watch like porn. Why are they watching porn? Well, how old
You
are
just
they?
said that you don't care what
I'm
they're
not gonna
watching.
punish them. I said, you know what I'm saying?
So that means
like,
they'll keep doing it if you don't punish them.
no, I'm saying like if they stumbled upon it, like if that like when I'm talking about older kids, not younger kids. Younger kids definitely need a filter. So therefore, I'm gonna be checking as a young kid. You turn like 13, 14, I'm gonna just make sure you're not watching like hangings or like people getting shot or some wild shit. If I think it would like find out you're watching porn, like hey, like all right, I guess you're coming of age. That's nasty. Like I'm gonna be holding your like phone with gloves. But as a little kid, like my sisters are what 7 and. Oh my God, I think she's literally no longer 7.
Great big sister.
Yeah. But anyway, for them, I'm definitely like monitoring that. And there should be something that YouTube is going to do to make sure that.
Spider-Man tonight.
You said what happened?
I want to play Spider-Man tonight.
What does that have to do with pedophiles on YouTube?
It just came to my mind.
That's
I wasn't
not-
talking to you. Continue.
During the podcast,
It just came to
that
my
was
mind.
just something you had to say.
I wasn't talking to. Just continue.
Jesus Christ. All right, so I guess just wrapping that up then. You know, YouTube's got to get their shit together.
I hope so.
I think we all.
No, not everybody, because clearly there's people that are posting it, so they're not in favor of YouTube.
Maybe they could do something where it's like if it is labeled as a child, like like video, like there's timestamps, so we know exactly like who's looking at these videos like inappropriately, so we can get all of them the fuck out of here.
There's just some sick people out there. Because you know what my solution
There
was?
are sick people, yeah.
My solution was, create like a little back page YouTube for sick motherfuckers. But then I realized
That's so problematic.
What?
Why are we creating nasty shit for
No,
people?
because people can get their shit off. Because you're never
But
going
you're
to get...
pedophiles, though.
That, and then here's what I thought. Here's what I realized. It's not that they just want to be sick within their own sickness. They want to spread it to other people.
Yeah,
And
but they
that's
also want to do it, though. Cause,
That's what I'm
some of
saying.
them are-
That's
no,
what I'm
but
saying.
some of them are like, hey,
No, we're saying
what's
the
your
same thing.
name, sis? Like, little girl. And I'm like, whoa. So it's not like you're just watching it, which is automatically a no-go for me. Not even a no-go, just hell no. Like, but like some of these people want to like enact it, and that's where I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm not giving you a space to do a goddamn thing but be in jail. That's it. That's quite literally it. So if you're a pedophile listening to this podcast, I hope you know how I feel about you. just putting that out there. I don't know.
man. Like it was. I don't know, but we're basically saying the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like it would. The solution would be give them a little place on their own to be wild. But the thing is, they want to spread it, and that's what I'm saying. It makes you sick. Like, why do you want kids to be slitting their wrists? Why do you want to be? Well, the pedophilia thing, I understand, but we've done that. We've seen that long enough to know that that's there. But I didn't know there's people out there that want kids to.
Because they're weird,
Sick.
fucking weirdos. Yeah, I don't know.
Sick.
I
my
hope
mother
God
said,
have
sick.
mercy on you. God said, "I'll make your enemies my footstool." And then when you really think about something like that, you go, "Oh God, I ain't mean that bad. Like, I'm sorry." Like,
I need
so
you to
God
burn
have-
eternally. I don't need you to.
Yes, my mother really used to look at people she hated and say, "God have mercy," because you know that stuff is coming, boy.
Yeah.
Your reckoning day is on its way. All right, so
I can't get my last shit off.
you say your
I
last
can't
shit.
get my last. You had two. I can't get my second topic.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just, we're getting to the hour. People were talking about they only like the hour type
All
of
right,
thing.
cool. I'm gonna get my shit off real quick.
All right, get your shit off, my
Yeah,
guy.
bro.
I mean, go ahead.
Look,
go ahead, Big
this is
Daddy,
for your
get it off.
nasty ass.
Get it
All right,
off, Big
let's hear
Daddy.
bum ass.
Get it- Big Daddy, go
Let's
ahead.
hear bum ass.
Go ahead.
So your king and your queen.
Which one? Jay?
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Your king and your queen. They want, how they think they cute, boycotting the Grammys or whatever, yada yada yada.
What? Mm-hmm.
But then they want to have an Oscar party.
What's the problem?
So the Oscars isn't problematic.
Who said the Oscars was it wasn't problematic? Who said that?
So how you
Oscars
like I
so
s-
white, hashtag.
So my
so
thing
white.
is, why are you gonna boycott the Grammys, but you're not boycotting the Oscars?
They not actors. Why they gotta boycott it?
Yo, you always got some
Listen, our man Spike Lee
bullshit,
finally
bro.
got recognized. That was your
You got
first
some
blackout. I don't
bullshit.
want to hear it. We out here. We out here for the culture. Fuck all that. You know what they probably should have just had? They should have had a black Oscars party. That's what it is. For all that niggas that won. I really want to talk to you about the whole like Greenleaf movie and how everybody's saying that movie is like it's so bad apparently because fuck, what were they saying? I'm like,
Well, for us to talk about it, I have to have seen it. So
no, you don't. You don't need to see it. I'm not gonna watch it now that I know like what happened. Basically, like the movie is surrounded by the jazz piano player, right, and his cab driver, and it's centered on the cab driver, even though the cab driver in real life meant like absolutely nothing to anything. But the whole plot is like how he was like racist and all this other stuff, and how the pianist like kind of helped him get through like the racism.
I seen that shit.
Yeah. So everybody is like, okay, but this is not factual, and like, so a lot of people are feeling like it's like one of
Oh, I
those
seen
white
that.
savior type of things.
It's it's funny. I seen the commercial for that, and I literally I was watching this preview commercial, whatever. And I was
yeah.
like, this is.
I was like, how you
full
got a
of
whole
shit.
movie about racism and the main character isn't even like the black person that's
Like, they just
surrounded
keep
about
finding creative ways to like
to
push our
glor-
buttons.
Yeah, to like glorify like white people, and that's another topic I wanted to talk to you about. But
White people?
well, I mean,
I can't imagine you'd ever want to talk about white people.
no, but there is like this thing I was hearing, and it's called like rage something. God damn it.
You don't know
Not
shit.
promoting, but like marketing, rage marketing, and all this other stuff,
Ah.
and how all of that has been happening lately. And I know one of our podcasts, the last one actually, we were talking about Gucci and how we were so angry about it.
No, you were so angry about
So
it.
how we were so angry about it, and like
that
all
shit
this
works
other
for people
stuff.
like you.
It does, and that's why I want to talk about it. So there's so many things we have to come back and chat
Nah, I'm
about.
done. That's my last podcast, y'all.
So, anyways, we have shit to talk about next time. I'm hella excited.
Copy.
I feel like the hour is not enough, y'all.
It's not.
I know y'all said an hour, but fuck
Well,
y'all
fuck.
because it's our podcast. All right. So we are on our. Ooh, what's first? Oh yeah, blackouts are last. So what's your win this week, Michael?
My win this week is I acknowledged I was wrong and I apologize to you.
Wait, what? Wait, whoa. Everybody rewind that shit back really quick.
I acknowledged I was wrong and I apologize to you. And
Oh shit.
even though I felt I was completely right in the whole situation, I acknowledged one part where I was wrong and could have done better. And I did that. And I think that
I'm feeling a little pissed because I feel like you took like my win. I'm really not gonna lie.
okay, I'll tell you the other win then. The other win was I made sure I didn't put myself in a bad situation. I took myself out of one and I made sure I didn't let myself get there.
That's dope.
And I said, yo, that's growth.
That's
and
progress.
That's
That's a lot.
And, you know what I mean?
Shit's hard.
All my kings out there, I implore you to do the same thing. Don't even let yourself be in a situation. Just
You know, it's funny because I used to have conversations like and be like, well, why would you even put yourself in a situation where it could be bad? And people be like, because I can. And it's like, no.
ain't even worth it. Like, for the most part, I can usually control myself, but it was like, in this one, it was like, it ain't that deep. Like, there's not enough of a good that can come out of it for me to risk that. So it was just like, fuck it. And it was also, I was like, you was already on my neck. I didn't need any more.
You ain't motherfucking lie.
He's already on my neck. I didn't even need any more. So I was like, whatever.
So I guess these like wins are about to be more personal than they are like outwardly. Well, they're always personal, but
It's going to be a win. It's going to be personal.
they are. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And if it's not personal, then why are you saying it? You bullshitting then.
Ooh, hit him again. They ain't hear you in the back. Insert gunshots. Is it my turn or were
Well,
you?
I mean, it could be, the other person in the room's turn, but you can go.
I mean, if Silent Sally wants to say something.
Yo, you know what's wild? In my head, I was about to say it could be Sally's turn.
Ah,
That's wild, bro.
we so lit. One accord in this bitch, huh? What other podcast is better than us? It's probably like a lot, but like, so what?
Nah, fuck that. Be quiet. And everybody else out there trying to start a podcast is quiet for you.
Wow, that's actually one of like my blackouts. I was really about to shout out another podcast, but it is what it is. Whatever. My win this week was actually like, I don't take the blame for anything ever at all. And so I thought that me saying this week,
If
like,
anyone can, I am nodding my head condescendingly.
ferociously, like his head is like about to fall off. But like I said, I don't really take responsibility for much. Even I don't say it verbally, even if I feel it internally, which is something that I am. Well, most of the time I do. Like 70% of the time I
Get to
do.
the point.
Anyways,
And also, those two statements contradict each other.
what are you talking about?
You just said I don't, and then you said
I
75%.
said most of the time I do.
Okay.
I said do twice.
Okay.
Anyway, so I said out loud, I would take responsibility for that because I felt like I was wrong in that situation. Like, I will give you that because regardless of how I felt about what was
how
happening.
gracious of you.
No, not in, fuck you, not in that way. I mean, like, I will, like, you have to be, like, vulnerable, right? Especially if you're, like, in a relationship. And I was reading something that was kind of helping me get through the last few days. And so one thing I've always said was, I want to compromise, right? But somebody
That
said...
should be a conversation one day.
We should have
About
that.
because I don't believe compromise is a thing.
I know. Next week. We got that next week.
Okay.
You know what? That'd be our big topic. But the girl was basically saying, like, when you compromise, there's, like, both of y'all are taking an L. So she was like, you should change your language and not say compromise, but you should collaborate. And when she said that, I was like, I like that. Because when you collaborate on the best possible outcome, it's better than taking a compromise. Because a compromise, somebody's losing, right? So that's a different topic. But my win is that. And I also had a little mini win today, right? So you were definitely late picking me up. And I was in there steaming. I had 15 reasons to, like, go at your head. Because I'm like, he's late. He knew we only had a little bit of time to get here. This, that, and the third. Da-da-da-da. And then I said, hold on. Before I go in there and chop his head off, let's count to 20. So I did that twice. And then what ended up happening was you ended up coming and I said, was everything okay? Because what if something wasn't okay? What if something happened? And I was so hell-bent on, like, but you know better. Da-da-da-da. I was like, hold on. Let's be a fake adult for, like, a half a second. And, like, ask what's wrong. And I feel like that's a win for me. Because I wouldn't have done that 3 weeks ago. I wouldn't have done it 6 months ago. I wouldn't. Shit, I probably won't do it twice. But at least I did it the first time.
Fuck.
So that's my win for the week. Me like maturing in ways that like it's not necessary. Like the argument wasn't necessary. I told you how I felt afterwards because you know explained what happened. And I was like, hey, next time can you just let me know? And you're like, yeah. And then that was it. And we're having a good time. So look at that. Maturity. That's growth. You know that meme when they're like, it's growth. No, you don't? Okay. Well.
Go ahead. Get your blackout off.
No, it's your turn, bro.
I went first.
I gotta go again?
You switch.
All right, whatever. All right, so my blackout for the week. Like I said, it's another podcast. So they're hella dope. I was about to say we went to school with them, but basically me and you went to school, and then they were like our professors. So, because it's Fred and Tamara.
Where were they? Okay,
well, I mean, like they're our mentors. Yeah. Is that a more appropriate word for it?
Go ahead.
So they were like the black delegation's mentor. Even if they weren't your personal mentor, they were your mentor anyway.
Everybody
we all looked up to these people at Buffalo State College. Shout out to Buff.
Rough Buff
all day, every day in this bitch. Like y'all can't tell me it's a better
I ain't
school.
graduate out of there. I made it out of there.
That's a fact. But yeah, so they started their own podcast, For the Love Of, so you can catch that on all platforms. Like they got their shit everywhere.
Okay.
Our stuff is on SoundCloud and iTunes and Google Play, but they got this shit on Spotify and everything like that. So anywhere you want to ingest a podcast, they pretty much got that covered, which is cool.
Do you know what they're talking about? Kind of.
So they're like, theirs is centered on, I guess, like the perspective of the college student and the things that they go through while talking about politics and talking about like relationships and talking about it's like a overall and general podcast from what I've perceived it to be and from what I've heard. I've only heard a little bit of it, but it doesn't even matter. I would support them regardless, and I plan on listening to the rest of it. They just dropped their podcast last night. And so they've gotten like really good reviews on it, and I'm so happy for them, and I'm so proud. And I was like, shit, now I gotta do catch up. And it made me feel like I was back at Buff again, because I got that drive to be like, fuck you think you doing being better than us. But it's all love out here, and like I'm so proud of them. They're so wise. They're old though, y'all, so if y'all want the fresh take, you stay over here. No, I'm joking. We love y'all, and so y'all are my blackout. Again, For the Love Of, and I think it's abbreviated, so you can do the FL or FTLO when you search it, and it comes up that way. And that's also for their Instagram name, I believe, as well. So shout out to them. Black culture, we are really about to be out here just taking over. OD. And whenever they ready to be guests on our podcast, we live. 0.5, baby, we live.
I feel you. For real.
All right, your turn.
Blackout goes to my guy Jay Blunt. One, just for being dad of the year. I got twins. That's his nickname. I got twins. I got twins.
Twins.
I got twins, but now he coaches the basketball team locally here, and they're going to the playoffs. So I want to send best wishes to them as they go through the playoffs and stuff like that.
You know I love my Jay.
Yeah, I know you like Jay more than me, so
that's not true.
But yeah, shout out to my boy, and hopefully they get all the way to the state and win.
Aw, you look at black men not only being fathers, but out here mentoring other men. Look, we gonna save the world one day. One day, we out here. We just got to push the racism aside, the prejudice aside, the sexism aside, the homophobia aside, and then we will be a great society. All right, y'all. So y'all already know the deal. We gotta find out what like our intro thing is, our outro thing to say. I don't think we've gotten that, but whatever. Subscribe, come listen to us. You know how it is, so that you can get updates on when we drop our episodes. Even though I'll be right there on Instagram to tell y'all we dropped, and why haven't you clicked play yet? So subscribe to us. See us on SoundCloud. See us on iTunes. See us on Google Play. We are up there as well, and we're looking to get on other platforms. So we about to be live out here, y'all.
We'll be out here, man.
Yeah, you ready? You ready to go?
All right, I'm trying to go eat. I got my leftover pizza, and I got pizza from the other day. I'm gonna warm up too.
I got something for you to eat.
Wow.
Nutrition for everybody. Get that beard glistening real nice. I'm just saying. Whenever you're ready.
Appreciate you.
Niggas ain't ready. They ain't never ready.
No, I'm celibate.
What? All right, y'all. We'll see you later.
All right, one.